To dissect the big GE2020 weekend, we're joined once more by news editor Zakir Hussain. Hello Zakir. From 2015 to 2020, PAP's share of the popular vote dropped 8.7 percentage points. Their vote share in almost all constituencies declined as well. Can you break down the main reasons behind this?
Hi, Harriet. I think one of the main reasons is actually 2015 election was a bit of an anomaly. It was, the PAP and PAP support for the PAP was on a high on the back of the SG50 celebrations, and I think the passing of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew earlier that year helped contribute to the swing in support for the PAP. But if we take out 2015 and we look back to say 2006, 2011, and 2020, I think the election results, are a return to this old normal perhaps, where roughly the PAP support is likely to hover around 60 to 65% of the popular vote. I think there were several reasons for this slide as well. I think one was the decision by the government to call an election in the middle of a pandemic caused a bit of unhappiness. There were also, maybe it didn't contribute so much, but I think the situation at polling stations that morning, long queues and so on, might have cost some voters who hadn't yet decided, to vote against the PAP. Also, I think the opposition did drive home, we thought, a clear message that, the PAP can remain in government, but we want to be a check and balance. And they also raised concerns over a possible wipeout. And I think, enough voters, especially young voters, felt a need to vote for the opposition, and I think that contributed to the Workers' Party taking Sengkang GRC.
Well said, Zak. Okay, so Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said on Friday night in PAP's press conference that Workers' Party Chief Pritam Singh will be appointed to the newly created position of Leader of the Opposition. What are the pros and cons of this new post? I think,
one clear pro is it's clear recognition, and especially for the close to 40% of voters who didn't vote for the PAP, that the opposition has a permanent place in Singapore politics. In fact, the WP raised its winning margin in Aljunied GRC and Hougang, and with Sengkang GRC, that's two town councils that the WP will be running now. Also, the post of leader of the opposition, although the details are not out yet, it does suggest that he will get an office, with secretarial staff support. And in a number of countries with similar parliamentary systems, the leader of the opposition also has to, form, say, a shadow cabinet that will study policies in various areas and spar with the ruling party. But this is also where I think the con could come in, because then the WP is forced to almost, say, come up with its own policies on various areas, from finance to education. Just to cite an example, the WP has opposed the GST hike that it will take place in this term of government, although it will come with generous offsets so that the low income aren't worse off. Now, as leader of the opposition, and I think the WP will be challenged to, for instance, present how it proposes to fund, say, additional spending on healthcare and, say, education as well.
Also, Progress Singapore Party will announce tomorrow who in its West Coast team will take up the two non-constituency MP positions. Who do you think it'll be?
Well, this is, I think, the million-dollar question. PSP founder Dr. Tan Cheng Bock has said he will not take up the post and let his younger members of the team take it. So I think speculation has been that Dr. Tan's number two, Mr. Leong Man Wai, will take up the post, and also a key member of the West Coast team, Ms. Hazel Phua, this is actually her third election. Right. So, but it remains to be seen. I mean, it depends. The party is expected to meet, later today and tomorrow, and if, say, the committee feels Dr. Tan should take the post, we can't rule that out entirely.
Right. Okay, we'll find out tomorrow then. Moving on, the ELD Gazette came out about an hour ago, meaning the winning candidates are officially members of parliament. What happens next, Zakir? When will they be sworn in? Are we going to see a cabinet reshuffle anytime soon as well?
Well, actually, I think the first order of business is many of the newly elected MPs will this week start meeting residents. Not in person because of the safe distancing requirements, but they'll do so online, and many of them have sent out leaflets and notices and posted on Facebook telling residents that if they need help with queries or assistance, they can reach out to them. Now, these Meet the People sessions take place every week, and I think the most direct contact people have with constituents. And I think after the 2-3 week break for the elections, this week they'll probably see a lot of queries. Next on the agenda is, I think, the formation of a new cabinet. Traditionally, it's taken place within a week or two, so I think that we can expect very soon. I think MPs, after that, Parliament will reopen, and the new ministers will work on the agenda for the next term of government. I think the reopening of Parliament might take place perhaps sometime in August.
Well, still many things to look out for then. So thanks very much, Zak. It's been a pleasure to chat with you throughout this election period. We've been speaking to news editor at the Straits Times, Zakir Hussain.